G'day everyone, it's Curtis here and welcome to an On The Back Wheel video. Today I'm reviewing the 2025 Beta 480 X Pro. So what is the Beta 480 X Pro? Well, the 480 is Beta's big bore enduro bike, and the X Pro means it's their more trail oriented version. The main difference between the bikes is the suspension. This has the ZF forks, which are open cartridge, and a ZF shock, and they're set up much softer and are more suited to trail riding. Let's do a quick walk around the bike and talk about the build quality. First up, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. This reddy orange looks brilliant, and the bike, it's really well put together and cleverly designed. It's nearly completely toolless. The seat, just one button, boom, the seat comes off. The air filter, to access it, you're just gonna pull off the side panel, boom, you're there. All the suspension completely toolless except for the preload. That just needs an Allen key. It's all extremely easy to get to and work on as well. Now this bike, the only thing that isn't stock is the tank. Beta were kind enough to put the 12.5 litre on for me because I was doing some big more adventure style rides. Besides that, what you see is what you get. I think the only thing I would change is I'd put on some bark busters and maybe a bigger bash plate, and then I'd be off. It's a really well put together motorcycle and has pretty well everything you need. The engine, I'm gonna go out there and say it's one of the best trail bike motors I've ever used. It's absolutely fantastic. It's got plenty of power, grunt for days, it lugs, you can rev it out. It does absolutely everything. It's so versatile. Look, it's not a 450cc motocross bike. It's not gonna pull your arms off, but it goes pretty hard still when you want it. It's easy to use. The fueling, absolutely perfect. On-off fueling, perfect. Throughout the range, spot on. The gearbox, easy to use, had no issues with it at all. The clutch, it's hydraulic. It works great. The one thing that I will touch on later is that it overheats in the really tight and technical stuff. The gearing is perfect for all-round trail riding. If you're doing more adventure style trail riding, I would probably get it a bit longer geared, and then if you're doing more technical stuff, I do shorter gearing, but as it is, you can tackle pretty well everything within reason. Right, the motor, I absolutely love it and I can't rate it enough. Yeah, well done Beta, you've done a great job on the motor. The suspension is a really interesting one on this bike. It's extremely plush and you wouldn't expect it. I mean, look at that. It's extremely plush and forgiving. It's surprising. When I first got on it, I was like, oh, this is quite cushy. In fact, my brother took it for a ride and the first thing he said was, it's like an XR400, but more modern and can take hits much better. And that's one of the great things about this bike is it's soft and cushy initially, but then you can still hit erosion mounds pretty much as hard as you want. I only brought it out a couple of times. That was doing stupid shit or hitting stuff when I shouldn't be. Besides that, it takes a hit really well. It gives you that compliance. People in the past have complained about the ZF suspension, especially the forks. Man, these are completely new ones that they've done. They're separate chamber forks. One side does one thing, another side does the other, and I believe only one has a spring as well. They are fantastic, everyone. Sure, if you're doing race pace, you're gonna want something a bit stiffer, but then you're not getting this model. You're getting the race model that they do with KYB suspension. But for everyone else in the world, the suspension is fantastic. It takes little hits really well, sharp rocks and roots. It doesn't deflect around too much. It takes the bigger hits like I mentioned. If you want to cruise in the trails, it's quite comfortable. It is extremely hard to fault. And there's a bit of adjustability there too. We added in a little bit of compression into the back just because I had luggage on as well. I felt, you know, it's a little bit cushy. And then it was near on perfect. I found the balance of the bike to be spot on. The handling on this bike as well, man, they have knocked it out of the park. For starters, it feels really light and nimble. You would not think it's a 480 or a big bore bike unless someone told you. It is a light feeling bike, especially for people coming from older enduro bikes. it's a different world now. They are so much lighter and easier to ride. The thing is, it's still stable, yet it's also nimble. They've done a fantastic job with the handling on this bike. I got up to like 150 or so in the dirt, no issues at all. And then I was doing single track as well. I had no dramas. It's a fantastic handling bike, guys. And one of the interesting things is it's reasonably low. This new model has a completely different frame that lowers everything 20 mil. So when you get on it, I'm 6 foot, 183 centimeters. The bike's set up for me pretty well perfectly. That's it. Pretty well, yep, I'd say I'm just flat foot. And then extremely comfortable. For an enduro bike, that's very rare. So if you are wary of seat height or you just feel more comfortable being able to touch, I would definitely look at this bike because it is that bit lower. Let's talk about my likes and dislikes for the bike. We'll start off with the likes. Look, I've already mentioned I like the suspension, handling and motor, which is pretty much all the major things. There's a few other things I really like. For one, the bike is extremely easy to live with. I've had it for a couple of months now. I did a service on it, piece of piss. Took me like 15 minutes with kids running around being crazy. Interesting note that the engine and gearbox are separate, so you can change them and put different oil in them if you like. They recommended to me just putting the same oil, but the option is there. Everything's completely toolless, as I mentioned earlier. Seat comes off with a button, air filter access, toolless as well. Same with the suspension. I was on a trail, fiddling with suspension. It's all really easy to do. Now, things I don't like, the first thing that comes to mind is the clutch. I love the clutch action. It's a nice, beautiful hydraulic clutch from Brembo, but it overheats really easily in the technical trails. Now, yes, this is a 480. It's probably made for more open stuff, but even on your basic singles track, every now and again, if you got to a tough hill climb, it'd overheat and I'd be constantly adjusting it, then I'd have to give it a rest. Now, I was chatting to another owner and he said it's because of how they route the hydraulic cable. It's actually right next to the engine, so it overheats. So what he did is just reroute it with some zip ties and then it's all fixed. Another thing is the stand. It puts it at a really big angle and it's quite steep. It's a bit of a pain. Sometimes it's good when you're on hills, you're like, oh yep, I can get it to work here, but majority of the time, I don't like how the stand works. And it's a bit of a bugbear for a lot of bikes, if I'm honest. I'd love it to come with handguards stock. I understand it's a bit cheaper, so, and nearly no other bike in the world does as well. And I'd also put on a better bash plate. With my soft luggage, it has worn a bit, so I would put some contact over it if I was putting my soft luggage on. My enduro stand does come with pads to put on. I probably should have put those on, but I wasn't sure because it's not my bike whether I was going to mod it up too much. Besides that, maybe it's a little bit thirsty. Maybe. I did a bigger adventure ride and it used a bit more fuel than I thought it would. In saying that, it's a 480 and I'm heavy on the throttle. So, look, compared to, I think, a KTM 500, I think it does use a tiny bit more. I'd love to test them back to back with me riding them personally, but just from what I read on the internet, this could be a little bit thirstier, but not really an issue because it's a 480 and it goes hard and the motor is near on perfect. Now, I've done a separate video on using this as an adventure bike. Now, when I picked up the bike, Beta said to me, mate, this is a thoroughbred enduro bike. And they were actually quite surprised with the riding I was going to do on it. But a lot of people are using the 480 for the longer multi-day rides because of how easy it is to service. It's got a good reputation for reliability now and because of that motor. It's a really nice motor, guys. That's great for lugging or if you want to ride it hard. Now, if you want to use an enduro bike or trail bike for adventure riding, that's a personal thing, that's up to you. For me, personally though, I think this is a fantastic base and I loved the bigger ride I did on it. You do have to be aware of limitations of any enduro bike though, and that's your servicing. And also, they're just a bit tiring to ride. If you're on transport sections, they will absolutely knacker you. But if you're thinking about using an enduro bike as a base for a light adventure bike setup, I think this is a great option. So would I recommend you buy the Beta 480 X Pro? Well, if you've been watching this video, you probably know the answer already is a resounding yes. I think this bike is bloody brilliant. From the first ride on it, put an absolute smile on my face, and I loved it. I was like, this bike is just fantastic, and it fit me like a glove. I can't recommend it highly enough. And one of the great things about this is the price. It's probably the cheapest of the bigger bore enduro bikes now. The only thing that comes close is the CRF 450 RL, and that has nowhere near the performance stock in that it needs to be uncorked, whereas this, boom, it's ready to go out of the crate. It's a fantastic bike, guys, and if you're looking at doing trail bike riding, I think it's one of the best options at the moment. All right, everyone, that's it for me. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments down below, and also check out my other videos I've done on the Beta 480 X Pro. They were a lot of fun. If you haven't, click that subscribe button and keep it on the back wheel. Catches.